Real talk, put the food down. If you are eating a sandwich right now, pause the video or throw it in the trash. We are about to ruin your appetite. Today we're talking about fancy history that is actually just straight up nasty. Let's get into it. The Versailles catfish. So, the Palace of Versailles. You see it on Instagram, right? Gold everywhere, mirrors, peak aesthetic. It looks like the ultimate flex. But in reality, it was the Fyre Festival of the 17th century, a total catfish. Imagine building the most expensive mansion in the world and forgetting to install plumbing. That is literally what happened. It was massive, but it had zero sewage infrastructure. Eleanor Herman, who wrote a book about royal poisons, spilled the tea. She said courtiers wouldn't even look for a bathroom. They would just drop their pants and handle their business wherever. On the stairs? Sure. In the hallway? Why not? In the fireplace? Bro, that is unhinged behavior. Imagine trying to warm your hands by the fire and realizing someone treated it like a litter box. The yeet strategy. Since they had 1p bucket per room for an entire palace, the waste disposal strategy was basically yeet it out the window. The logic was, if I can't see it, it's not my problem. This caused major drama. Queen Marie Antoinette once almost got taken out by a flying bucket of sludge while walking in the garden. Some historians think this wasn't an accident. They think it was intentional beef from Madame du Barry, the king's mistress. Think of it like Mean Girls. But instead of writing insults in a burn book, they threw human waste at you from the second floor. That is petty level 100. The hygiene red flag. The hygiene situation was a walking red flag. Chimneys were clogged with soot, fleas were jumping between people like they were at a rave, and nobody washed their clothes. And bathing? Forget about it. People back then were gaslighting themselves into believing that water drowns your organs. Marie Antoinette was considered a clean freak because she bathed once a month. Let that sink in. The bar was on the floor. She was literally in hell. Crowd control and commando fashion. It gets worse. At its peak, 10,000 people lived in Versailles. Imagine Coachella, but with no porta potties, and everyone is wearing 50 layers of velvet. The nobles and the servants were finally equal in one way. They all peed on the floor. Men would just go off the balconies in the middle of the chapel. And women? Rumor has it those giant hoop skirts were basically portable privacy tents. They could just pop a squat right in the middle of a conversation. No underwear, just vibes. One nobleman from Champagne complained that the kitchen maids kept dumping their buckets right outside his window. The maids felt bad, so they broke his window to let fresh air in. Logic, 0. Chaos, 10. The toilet hookup spot. King Louis eventually tried to set rules, like please clean the poop off the hallway floor once a week. Bare minimum, right? The royals finally got private toilets in 1768, literally a century late. But the pipes leaked into the living rooms. And get this, some people used the public bathrooms as a hookup spot. It was like the Mile High Club, but instead of an airplane, you're in a closet that smells like a dumpster fire. Absolute cringe. The fountain flex. Now, here is the biggest facepalm moment. Versailles had no budget for toilets, but they had an unlimited budget for fountains. This is the ultimate Instagram versus reality. They built massive hydraulic pumps to bring water from the Seine River just to make water shoot into the air. King Louis XIV had main character syndrome so bad that he tried to reroute a river just for the aesthetic. But the tech was trash. They couldn't run all the fountains at once. So, servants had to run ahead of the king, turning on the fountains he was looking at and turning off the ones behind him. It was a literal illusion. The peasants were starving, watching their tax money turn into a water show for one guy with an ego problem. Even today, tourists leave one-star reviews. Nice gold walls, but where is the bathroom? The fountains still barely work because of droughts. Bro, if you time travel to Versailles, bring hand sanitizer and a gas mask. Immortal lobsters and weird facts. Okay, palate cleanser time. Let's talk about something else. Did you know lobsters are basically glitches in the Matrix? They don't age. Theoretically, they are immortal. They just keep getting bigger and stronger. Indeterminate growth, baby. But here's the catch. They die from suffering from success. Eventually, they get too big for their shell. Molting takes too much energy, and they literally die of exhaustion trying to upgrade their armor. That is the most tragic way to go. Also, they are cannibals. If a lobster sees another lobster, it's not friend, it's snack. It's a battle royale down there. Oh, and rich people tried to make biodegradable golf balls out of lobster shells to save the planet. But the balls didn't fly far enough, so billionaires were like, Nah, I'd rather destroy the earth than fix my handicap. Classic. Quick facts before we dip. Crows are ops. If you mess with a crow, it will remember your face for 5 years and tell its homies. You will get jumped by a bird gang. Sea cucumbers. They breathe through their butts, and if you touch them, they vomit their internal organs at you. Drama queens. Polar bears. To handle thin ice, they don't walk. They literally pancake themselves. They lie flat on their bellies, spread their legs, and slide forward to distribute their weight. Look at this guy. That is literally me trying to slide through adulthood without cracking under pressure. Anyway, that's the tea on history. If you're still watching and haven't thrown up yet, smash that like button. This is No Cap Bro. Peace out.